Good evening. Two videos in one day. This is me talking about my thoughts on WWE Extreme Rules 2021. I thought it was a decent show marked with a big return, but we'll get into that fairly soon. So, to start off the night, they had The New Day versus AJ, Omos, and Lashley in a six-man tag with Big E getting the pin on Lashley after a I don't even remember, but I just remember it was Big E versus basically Big E hit the big ending on Lashley to end the match, and that set up for a match tomorrow night. And it looks like I got ice cream on my face. Yes, it was about this time I went to go get some birthday cake ice cream. So, um, it was like a unicorn birthday cake ice cream. Um, Next match on the card I thought was very enjoyable. We had Damian Priest versus Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus in a triple threat for the United States Championship. Very well contested match. I don't remember much of it, to be fairly honest with you. I do remember that Priest and I think Priest and Hardy could do very well in a program together. I think they have very I feel like they would have similar styles. I haven't seen Damian Priest wrestle very much, but a lot of that was, I think, a big or a small portion of the match. A portion of the match was dedicated to Sheamus versus Hardy, or Sheamus versus Priest. I'm sorry, I misspoke. And continuing that storyline. Um, and I believe this was a SmackDown. No, it wasn't a SmackDown exclusive because we had Bliss versus Charlotte. Charlotte went over, then tore up Lily, which I could care less about. I I can call the Charlotte matches for what they are. Um, Flair goes over because they're definitely building towards an old reliable match. They're building for either Charlotte versus Becky or Charlotte versus Sasha at Survivor Series. Um, then we had the tag team championship match for, I thought it was the SmackDown tag team championship match. It was the Usos versus the Street Profits. Montez Ford has his ribs taped up, so that was a big story in the match, was Montez Ford's ribs after getting beaten up by Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Very enjoyable match. I think that the Street Profits and the Usos have good chemistry. I think that's all I have to say on that. I didn't take notes because I was busy focusing on watching the show and enjoying it. Bianca Belair versus Becky ended in a DQ finish where Charlotte runs in, or not Charlotte. Damn it, I keep fucking things up. But it is like 10 o'clock at night, so it's almost time for bed. Charlotte fine, I did it again. Sasha ran in and attacked Bianca last month at SummerSlam. She could not compete. I still don't remember the reason. So that ended the match in a disqualification. Very well contested. But I don't know. I thought it was very well contested. I thought they told a good story. And then after that, we had Reigns versus Balor. This is the one I probably have the most to talk about. Probably one of the most predictable matches of the night. because they are building for Reigns versus Lesnar at Crown Jewel. However, one thing that gave away the ending of the match was the reminders that the Demon had never lost on pay-per-view whenever he's brought out. I take that, compare it to what the ring announcer says, and what I mean is when last month, for example, it was Nikki ASH versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. And when Nikki ASH was announced or introduced, it was the current Raw Women's Champion. Whenever I hear the words current champion, that's a hint that they're not retaining. I say also listen for key phrases. In the Demon's case, it was he has never lost on pay-per-view, or he has never lost whenever he's brought out. And consider that what they're building to as well. They're building to Reigns versus Lesnar for the 5th time in 6 years. Okay? That says a lot. We've seen this match so many times that I don't want to see it anymore. But it's what they're building to. We're either going to get Reigns versus Lashley or Reigns versus Big E at Survivor Series. I think they could tell a story with both. I really think they could tell a story with both. Because I don't see Lesnar going to win the match at Crown Jewel, but I could be wrong. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. Maybe they do say Reigns has had a long enough run with the title. Let's put it on Lesnar. But I really don't see Lesnar winning the title at this stage in his career. All in all, it was a solid show. No particularly bad match. I thought the main event kind of had a BS ending. Because the ending was Balor was going for the coup de grace on the top rope, and then the top rope broke, sending Balor crashing to the floor. Balor gets up. Reigns hits him with a spear after some offense. 1, 2, 3. Again, I still don't know whether or not this tops Ambrose with the TV monitor against Bray Wyatt at TLC 2014 as one of the dumbest finishes I've ever seen. Actually, no. I shouldn't say that Dean Ambrose with the television monitor was the dumbest finish I've ever seen. A DQ in a Hell in a Cell match is the dumbest decision to end a match that I've ever seen and heard. But other than that, we've got Crown Jewel in 3 weeks. I believe they said October 25th or something like that. Or October 23rd, somewhere in there. And right now we know that there is at least one match confirmed, and that is Lesnar versus Reigns for the Universal title. One thing also that I didn't really mention was I could see Brock wanting to fight for the title because it's Brock Lesnar. He's not going to show up in Saudi Arabia and not fight for a championship. It's one of those things that I don't think WWE fans want to see that match again, because they've already seen it like half a dozen times, but it is what it is, and we'll have to wait and see how the match turns out. And yeah, that's my thoughts on SummerSlam 2021. Or not SummerSlam, Extreme Rules, I'm sorry.